We'll call the April 7th, 2026 Williams County Board of County Commissioners meeting to order. Beth, will you call roll?
Barry?
Here.
Steve?
Here.
Bo?
Here.
Chris?
Here.
We have a quorum. We'll proceed. If everybody please stand for the pledge. Okay, that brings us to item C, the consent agenda. There's 34 pages of minutes in there, I think, that Beth typed up. So if anybody, what are the wishes for the consent agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Discussion? Roll call, please.
Barry?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Corey?
Yes.
Bo?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Motion carried. Okay, item D. This is the area on the agenda's public comment. If there's anyone here that does not have something on the agenda later and wishes to address the board, now is the time. When you come up, please introduce yourself for the record.
Good morning, board. I'm Garrett Lallam from Tioga with the Hardy Water Depot.
Dallas Lawin. I got it.
So we'll hopefully make this brief. We're here to give you a little bit of an update on kind of where we're at with our water intake into Lake Sakakawea. So Dallas is handing out a few bullet points that I'm just going to kind of follow through on that. So if you guys have any questions on that. If you remember, I think it was December 12th, we were in and got approval from you guys for a conditional use permit for the zone change to for where the intake building would go. So basically at the end here, so what I'm going to kind of get to is we're hoping to find some support from the county, maybe in form of a letter to help us through some of the processes we're going through with the Corps of Engineers. So Hardy Water's got a permit with the Industrial Water Commission for basically 10,000 acre feet, 9 million gallons of water in a 24-hour period. The permit has been extended to 2030. And right now we're in the process. Actually, we just got notification in an email, I think yesterday, that the Corps of Engineers is going to send it through for the 30-day 404, 408 review for easement for the intake. So that particular review back in 2020 was denied. Basically, they required a market analysis, and they claimed that there wasn't enough need for the water. So according to their letter dated back in 2020, there was 31,000 acre feet of industrial water out of Lake Sakakawea, which out of that, Select Energy had 24,850. So basically, Select Energy out-of-state company had 80% of the industrial water available in western North Dakota. So the Corps of Engineers, they've got a couple of one basic concern is that we are within a half a mile radius around a recreational area. So we're looking to get past that with them. In our new application, we got it basically set for industrial municipal use, in the future. So we believe that we shouldn't fall underneath this half-mile oil and gas buffer that they're claiming. So we're working with them to basically get through that. Okay, I wrote some notes. I gotta jump around here a little bit. So our goal is to get the permitting from the Corps of Engineers done so this project is construction ready. At that point, I mean, obviously, we're just farmers and ranchers up here. We're not going to build that thing alone. It's gonna get handed off, whether we're part of it or somehow to people that can finish the project. So the North Dakota Industrial Commission, I believe, awarded WBI Energy a $500 million financial guarantee. That's going to move gas out of the Bakken down towards Washburn and across the state. Does Bismarck and the eastern side of the state want industries in western North Dakota, or do they just want us to produce it and ship it out so they can keep those industries over there? So basically, is what we're looking for here is a letter of support from Williams County, which is more than a letter of support for us, but it's also a letter of support for western North Dakota. We need to see some of these industries stay up here. As you know, most industries, they look for speed to market. If they can have the oil, the gas, the electricity, the rail all ready to go, it makes it easier for them to come to areas. And that's basically what we're looking to do here, is get this water intake in place so that it's available and ready for when industries hopefully want to move into northwest North Dakota. We have requested letter of support from R&T Water. We actually were in and met with them when we are going to be meeting with the WAS board on the same topic here in a matter of a couple of weeks. Guys have any questions on what we're looking for here?
Somebody got any questions?
I assume the letter of support is to offset the impact of their statement on you're within a half mile of a recreation area since it's a county park, or is that not the angle you're looking for?
Well, that's just kind of one of the hurdles that we're running into. It's more of a letter of support to show the Corps of Engineers that, hey, we've got support from the municipal water outfits up here, where we've got support from Williams County saying, hey, we all like to see industry happen up in northwest North Dakota. That's more of what it's about.
By us, we already approved the zone change.
Correct. Yeah.
And that's not enough support. I mean, we basically said, yeah, you can put it there when we approved that zone change, because I remember this conversation and it was, well, is it too close? Is it not close? But then the intake is what, 1,500? I don't know. It's a long ways out into the water.
Correct. Yeah.
Somebody swimming that far, they're lost, right? So it's okay. Any other questions, comments? What are the thoughts?
I guess I don't see why we would not have letter support drafted up and have the chairman sign, I guess.
Is that a motion, Barry?
Yeah, well, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, it is a motion.
Thank you. Is there a second to go along? What was that, you?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have motion and seconded. Any discussion? Do you want to add to ask Lindsay to draft a letter?
I would do that. I guess I kind of implied I was talking to her already about it.
Right, you good with that, Bo? Okay, any discussion?
I'm concerned the county's lending support to a private enterprise by this letter, and I think you're right. Not that I'm opposed to what you're doing out there, but I feel like the motion that we made and what's already included here and what you handed out should suffice as support from the county that this should move forward.
Okay, any other comments? No, hearing none. Roll call, Beth?
Steve,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you. Good morning, gentlemen. For the record, Dan Keelow for Bull Butte Township this morning. I just dropped off a culvert petition with Beth and had talked with Dennis about it. We're just trying to widen the road into our farmyard. It's the same width as it was when it was built in 1963. And I'm having a difficult time keeping trucks on the road with foreign workers. So just simple as that. We had 3 go off it last year. It's just time to do something with it. And Bull Butte, I met with Bull Butte Township at their annual meeting. They asked if I would come in and ask for this rather than them make the trip in. So just appreciate your support on that. Any questions?
Okay, any questions for Dan?
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dan. Okay, is there anybody else for public comment? Last time, any other public comment? No? Okay. That brings us to planning and zoning.
Good morning. Michelle Haugen with County Planning. First one we have today is LU-0005-26. Joel Rhodes with JD Rhodes Investments LLC is requesting a conditional use permit for a multifamily dwellings. This is Lot 6, Block 3 of the 13-mile subdivision, or 13-mile center subdivision, excuse me, located within Section 12, Township 156 North, Range 101 West, being Tyrone Township. We have not received comment back on this project from Tyrone Township. However, when the township comments was solicited in November of 2025, they were undecided on their recommendation and made comment that they would not be responsible for road maintenance or snow removal. The applicant is requesting a conditional use permit to renovate and operate multifamily dwellings within the urban residential zoning district. The parcel currently contains 6 multifamily units that were built in 2012 that were previously utilized as employee housing for the travel center located to the south. When they were used as such, the owners at the time had a hotel-motel license through the state of North Dakota and were able to occupy the buildings under that license. Since that time, the hotel-motel license has expired, and the units have been vacant since fall of 2023. This was brought before the Planning and Zoning Commission in December of 2025 by Richard Sherman of WP North Dakota A LLC and was approved by this board in January. Since that time, Joel Rhodes has purchased the property and, as per the Williams County zoning ordinance and subdivision regulations, is required to come back before the boards for approval as a conditional use permit is not transmitted or transferable. It is the applicant's intent to make necessary improvements and renovations to the buildings in order for them to be back into productive use. Access to the subject property is off of 13-mile Center Road Northwest. Planning and Zoning did hear this item on March 19th and did recommend approval 7-0.
Okay, is the applicant present? No. All right, questions from the board?
I'd move to approve LU 000526 following staff comments.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Discussion. Roll call, please.
Corey,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, so the next one we have is LU-0006-26. Ed Rintamaki on behalf of Art and Ann Anderson Revocable Trust. They're requesting a variance from the minimum lot width of 150 feet within the rural residential zoning district. This is located in Farm Unit 100, Section 7, Township 152 North, Range 103 West, being Buford Township. Buford Township is undecided on their recommendation. They have concerns with the access road and who will be responsible for it in the future, as well as it being a dead end. They also express concerns if the lots will be rezoned. The applicant is requesting a minor subdivision, which will create 2 lots. Subject property is approximately 20.65 acres and within that rural residential zoning district. The newly created lots will be 5.29 acres and 14.99 acres. Both of the proposed lots do meet the minimum required acreage of the rural residential zoning district and will remain within that district. The applicant is also requesting a variance from the minimum lot width of 150 feet as outlined in the Williams County Zoning Ordinance and Subdivision Regulations, Chapter 2-3-5.2. The lot width minimum for the proposed lot is 135 feet. The purpose of the minor subdivision is to separate out the home on the subject property. Access to the newly created lots is taken off of 150th Avenue Northwest. The minor subdivision is currently going through the minor subdivision review process with the lots to be known as MS 26-0001 and 0002. Recordation of the plat will be contingent on the approval of the variance. Planning and Zoning Commission did hear this item on March 19th and recommended approval 7-0.
Okay, is the applicant present?
Ed is here, yes.
Ed? You got anything to add, Ed?
Good morning, Ed Rintamaki, Interstate Engineering. I'm the surveyor of record for this project. Just a little bit of background on that variance to the minimum width. There's the existing canal along the south edge of that property, and that's kind of what they wanted to use as a natural boundary, as long as in making it the boundary of the south boundary of the 5-acre tract of land. So with that being said, that's why we're less than the 150 feet because of the distance from the southwest property corner. The other item, I've had some discussion with Ann with regard to the access to that back lot. They were not in favor of having it go through the existing 5-acre parcel because they didn't want to have to drive basically through the front yard of the existing, or the proposed 5 acres in front of their house. So there was a little bit of discussion around having it along that existing access field trail to the north. And GIS doesn't accurately represent these boundary lines. The north boundary of the subject parcel is actually south of that existing east-west farm trail. So there was some thought of creating an access there, but the Andersons will continue to own the property to the north in the remaining roughly 14 acres. That do they need to provide access to that back parcel when they own both properties? And that was a discussion Ann also had with Bo. So kind of leaving it up to you guys. Are you going to require that at this point in time? If that property is ever to be sold, obviously the Andersons would have to provide access at that point in time. So if there's any further questions or comments.
So when I spoke to the Andersons, I was under the impression that they're separating the farmyard out from that. Okay. So this shows that it's not. I mean, according to this, they're separating just that one triangle parcel.
Yeah, it's roughly a 20-acre, that farm unit, which is highlighted on the screen. That's what's the subject of the survey. And then we're taking roughly a 5-acre parcel around the existing home site. So there'd be two parcels created as a result of this.
So you'll have to come back to us for that part of it, or not? No.
That easement can be, if, like I mentioned earlier, if the Andersons were ever to sell that at that point in time, you can't have land locked. They'd have to provide access. So at that time, an easement could be written up as part of the deed, but maybe there's further comment from.
Good morning, Commissioners. Cameron Heimer, Development Services. Yeah, Michelle and I discussed this, and it was brought up at the Planning and Zoning meeting in March about having access to the newly created lot. And we were just following the zoning ordinance, which does require access to a newly created lot through the development standards. And I think as staff, the reason also why that was in the zoning ordinance is our concern is we've had this issue arise in the past where properties do get sold, there's no requirement that they would have to come at that time in front of the board to look to obtain an access easement or have one recorded. And so we're just trying to protect not only the current property owner, but any future property owners to be able to access that and not create a landlocked parcel.
Does it specifically state in this document that, I mean, I see where it says require the easement, but does it matter where they put it? If the easement is on that access trail that's on the north side of that 5-acre lot?
Nope, that would be sufficient as long as it's something recorded and out there so it's public or,
Okay.
so they know that it's out there and we are aware that it's out there.
So, I mean, that was what Ann was most concerned about. She was upset. She thought we were going to require them to have that access easement through that farmyard.
Mhm.
But I mean, I guess I discussed, that's why I told her is if that is presented to us that we'd be on the north side, that would make sense.
Yeah, and I could further expand on that. Like I mentioned earlier, the initial comments came back showing providing access through the 5 acres. I got the last comments back from county staff yesterday afternoon showing the easement along the north boundary. The only question, and this is maybe a legal question, but can you provide access to yourself on your own property? And that's a doctrine of merger, which I guess there's ways to handle that where you could say it's an easement for the benefit of future landowners or whatever verbiage is necessary. So,
Well, I was wondering about that too, Karen.
No, it would be correct. You can't have an easement for yourself over your own property, really. I mean, I suppose you could make it an easement in favor of the public, but I mean, then that means that anybody really would be able to use it. So if it's the purpose for the future landowner, it's like, yeah.
So are you saying don't do an easement?
What I'm
We
saying,
can't do an
you
easement.
can't do an easement to yourself on your own property. That's what I'm saying.
Well, couldn't we, one of the conditions was if this parcel were to ever sell, then they have to come back for an easement? Couldn't that be one of the conditions?
Yeah, the only problem with that is that that's really hard to monitor when somebody's going to sell their property. We're not always aware of that really because a deed gets recorded in the recorder's office and they don't automatically tell the planning and zoning staff. So that's, would be hard to enforce.
Well, it would be, I would assume that whoever would buy that 5-acre parcel in the future, if they had a trouble getting a road into it, they'd have to just come right back here and we'd go, the easement was, if that land ever sold, this has to be done at that time.
Isn't this something, wouldn't this be on the person buying it?
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody's buying it, wouldn't they have to say, hey, I need a way to get in this or I'm not buying it from you? I mean, am I just simplifying things way too much or? Well, it feels like it's not my problem. It feels like if somebody buys it, they would have to say, well, I need to get in there. And if they say, no, I'm not giving you an easement, well, then no, I'm not buying the property. It's pretty simple.
If the easement was drawn in on that north boundary line of the subject property, like that 5 acres showing that this is where the future access easement, it's not really granting an easement. We do access easements on properties. We had Beth do it. There is an easement to get into the back parcel that she had to do, something that's drawn into plats all the time and can be done.
But I thought Karen just said you can't do an easement to yourself.
You can't record an easement like a document, but you put easements on your plats to access that property
But
several times.
Gotcha.
but that's generally in the case that the property is being transferred to another entity or another individual.
In the future, this could be, and it's a preventative on this particular one.
So there's going to be a 5-acre boundary here, and then we're going to have 14 acres on the east side, correct? So if Ann was planning on selling that 14 acres, would they not have to, the owner would have to come in for a zone change for rural residential or something to put a house on it?
No,
No.
because it will be in rural residential. We won't have, the only thing we'll see is a building permit. And then we're going to say you have no legal access. And then they're going to have to go back and try to get access from whoever at that point in time owns that 5 acres. And if that person says, if it's not Anne or whoever, if they say, no, I'm not giving you access, then they're in a court battle. So this is really preventative for in the future if both of those lots were to be sold to separate entities.
All right. Is there any other questions while everybody's up here? I guess if there aren't any other questions, what are the wishes of the board?
But just for clarity, if I could interject one more time. When you're talking about access along the north, are you talking about along the existing field trail or within the 5-acre tract?
If it's shown on the plat,
Yeah, well, I guess I'm not 100% sure how you want that. It looks like it's on the north side of the 5 acres, and you got tree rows there, so you're going to be disrupting existing tree rows if you go according to what you're showing on the plat, or splitting that north boundary line. So there's on both sides.
Yeah, I think really our concern is that there is access, so I that should be sufficient. I don't see that being an issue to do it along the current trail. The ordinance is very short, but it says every lot shall front or butt on a publicly dedicated street or roads easement.
But it does abut.
Okay, I'm going to turn it over to the board now, Ed.
Okay.
And because we can debate that all we want, but we got to make a decision here. So what are the wishes?
I would make a motion to approve LU dash 0006 dash 26, striking the number 3 must have road easement in place for a 1499 acre lot.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Discussion. Roll call.
Bo,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Corey.
Yes. Motion carried.
Thank you.
okay, so the next one we have is LU-0008-26. Crystal Erickson is requesting a zone change to the rural residential zoning district for an approximately 11.05 acre lot. This is located in Lot 3 of Simonson Second Subdivision, Section 10, Township 153 North, Range 98 West, being Truax Township. The township has recommended approval for the zone change. The applicant is requesting the zone change to the rural residential zoning district for the subject property. This lot is currently in the agricultural zoning district, however, does not meet the minimum required acreage for that zoning district. The applicant is going through the boundary line adjustment process to adjust the lot lines between Lot 2 and 3 of Simonson Second Subdivision. In order to go through the BLA process, the parcels do need to be in the same zoning district, which is the reason for this zone change. Access to the subject property is taken off of 119th Road Northwest, also known as County Road 15B. Planning and Zoning Commission did hear this item on March 19th and approved it 7-0.
Okay, applicant have anything to add? No? Okay. Any questions from the board? What are the wishes?
I'd move to approve LU-0008-26 following board comment or recommendations.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Yeah. What happened with the lawnmower that got out of control? Just to the west. Anyway, sorry. I apologize.
Okay, we'll move on. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Chris,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Bo.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, so the next one we have is LU-0010-26. Leon Brackey on behalf of Deering Farm LLC is requesting a variance for a newly created lot to remain in the agricultural zoning district that does not meet the minimum required acreage. This is located in the south half of the southeast of Section 32, Township 159 North, Range 98 West, being Big Stone Township, and they have recommended approval on this item. The applicant is requesting a minor subdivision which will create 2 lots. The parent parcel is approximately 79.96 acres and within the agricultural zoning district. The newly created lots will be approximately 5.38 acres and 74.58 acres. The larger lot will remain within that agricultural zoning district, while the applicant is requesting a variance for the approximately 5.38 acre lot to also remain in the agricultural zoning district. The purpose of the minor subdivision is to separate the daughter and son-in-law's home from the farm outbuildings and tillable land of the current parcel. Access to the subject property is taken off of 125th Avenue Northwest. Minor subdivision is going through the review process with the necessary county departments, and the lots will be known as MS 26-0003 and MS 26-0004. Recordation of the plat will be contingent on the approval of the variance. On March 19th, the Planning and Zoning Commission did recommend approval 7-0.
Okay, applicant have anything to add?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the record, my name is Leon Brackey. I am the licensed land surveyor for this project. I guess I just wanted to be present in case any folks had any questions. They're cleaning seed and getting ready for spring's work, so the Olsons couldn't be here. I did talk to both Cody and Wayne Deering, the owner of the property as it sits.
Okay, any questions? Okay, what are the wishes?
Make a motion to approve following staff comments.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Discussion? Roll call, please.
Barry,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, so the next one we have today is LU-0014-26. Jared Medhurst is requesting a conditional use permit to build a shop and utilize it for both personal and business use within the rural residential zoning district. This property is located in Lot 1 of Block 1 of Palomino Properties Home Subdivision, which is Section 4, Township 154 North, Range 103 West, being Round Prairie Township. Round Prairie Township is undecided on their recommendation and added they need more information on the business. They also questioned if the neighbors have been notified about the business. The applicant is requesting the conditional use permit to utilize a proposed shop for both personal and business use. The property is approximately 10 acres and within the rural residential zoning district. The property owner and his father operate Aces Energy Services, which is a family-owned trucking, rental, and hot shop company. They currently have 2 other shops located within the city of Williston where the business is ran out of. The applicant's shop would only be utilized to do extensive repairs and painting on equipment when the space is needed so they can keep their in-town shops with space to conduct the day-to-day business. The applicant anticipates minimal impact to traffic within the area as they would bring equipment out, work on it, and then take it back to one of the other business shops located within town, city of Williston. Access to the subject property is off of 54th Street Northwest, which is known as County Road 4. Planning and Zoning did recommend approval 7-0 on this item.
Okay, is the applicant present? No. All right, any questions, comments? What are the wishes?
Make a motion to approve following staff comments.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Discussion? Roll call, please.
Steve,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, so the next one we have is LU-0015-26, which is Christopher Junt, who is requesting a zone change to the urban residential zoning district for a proposed 2-acre lot. This is located within the west half of the southwest of Section 15, Township 154 North, Range 97 West, being Nesson Valley Township. With Nesson Valley Township being governed by Williams County, no township comment was solicited. The applicant is requesting a minor subdivision which would create 2 lots. The parent parcel is approximately 79.85 acres and within the agricultural zoning district. The newly created lots will be approximately 2 acres and 77.85 acres. The larger lot will remain in the agricultural zoning district while the applicant is seeking a zone change for the 2-acre lot to urban residential zoning district. The purpose of this minor subdivision is to create a small lot within that will be gifted to the owner's nephew, Christopher, to build a single-family home on in the future. Access to the subject property will be taken off of 114th Road Northwest. The minor subdivision is going through the review process, with the lots to be known as MS 26-0005 and MS 26-0006. Recordation of the plat will be contingent on the approval of the zone change. When Planning and Zoning heard this item, they did recommend approval 7-0.
And anything to add from the applicant? Okay, questions, comments? What are the wishes?
I'd move to approve LU-0015-26 and recommendations from staff.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Discussion? Roll call, Beth?
Corey,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, so the final one we have today is LU-0020-26. Shelby Anderson is requesting a conditional use permit to operate a small family-owned bait and tackle shop within the agricultural zoning district. This is located in the south half of the southeast of Section 24, Township 153 North, Range 103 West, being Hardscrabble Township. Hardscrabble Township has recommended approval with the following conditions. They would like the approach to be readdressed and would like to have final approval of the approach. And they said no off-sale liquor or beer. The applicant is requesting a conditional use permit to construct and operate a small family-owned bait and tackle shop. The shop will also offer other items to help serve the hunting and fishing community within the area. The subject property is within the agricultural zoning district and consists of approximately 79.80 acres. Access to the subject property is taken off of 44th Lane Northwest. The Planning and Zoning Commission heard this item March 19th and did recommend approval 7-0.
Is the applicant present? Do you have anything to add? No. Okay. Questions?
I guess to the township's request of the final approval of the approach, that's a county road, correct? That's County 2? Yeah.
It is.
So that would be up to County Highway to approve the approach permit?
And there was some discussion too at planning and zoning about there, as far as we know, there's no plan, but in the future, if there ever were that beer and alcohol, that's run through the county also. So it's kind of moot.
Yeah, and I see neither one of those are in the recommendations from Planning and Zoning. So, okay, anything else? What are the wishes?
I'd make a motion to approve following staff comments.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Discussion? Roll call, please.
Bo,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Item F. Looks like you're up, Beth.
I received an application from a Twin Rocks land company to purchase some property that Williams County owns. Karen did look at it. I did not discuss this with planning and the assessor's office to see if this was a good value or a good price. They just want to know if we're interested in selling some property out in I believe it's in Beaufort Township. And they're offering $65,772.18.
I think we're going to get an answer to that question, Chris.
Well, yeah, first of all, most of it's underwater, so I don't know why they want to purchase it. And plus, if we're going to sell land that they're valuing it, what, at 65,000, we'd have to advertise it really. So we couldn't just sell it to just some private.
Well, that
company.
answers the question.
So,
Yeah, I was wondering in the letter that they submitted who Williams was, Gary Williams.
Okay, so do we need to make an official, do we need to answer it or not? Because I think there's been a lot of these sent around to a lot of people that are just laying on desks.
yeah, I guess, if you decided to not take any action, it's like, I'll just email them and say, then the board didn't take any action. So, but if you wanted to definitely say no, then yes, I need a motion. So it's up to you.
Okay, I'm obviously a no, it doesn't matter, but what, yeah, well, it might be, but like Karen said, we can't do it anyway. So do you want to say no? Or do you want to just leave it alone? Okay, we're going to move. Next one.
According to our new liquor license and special permits, I have to bring these special event permits to the board. Of course, they're never going to come before the board because nobody ever gets them done right before a meeting. And so as we get these, I'll bring them to the board and show you that they were approved and what the event was and such.
So what are we doing with it? Just staring at it?
I just have to let you know that I issued one of these for our ordinance. Unless you don't want me to bring these, I don't have to.
Well, if it says you have to, but I'm not really following what.
Okay, so the idea is that if there's a special event permit that happens before it can get on the board, Beth has the authority to approve it, but it needs to really be ratified by this board, really. So, and under the ordinance.
So, in consent agenda would be a spot for that.
Sure,
to go,
that'd be fine.
But we have to ratify this one.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, everybody get that? We're going to need a motion on this to approve it, and then from here on we can put them on the consent.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Chris?
Yes.
Barry?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Corey?
Yes.
Bo?
Yes.
Motion carried. Okay, Lindsay.
Good morning. All right, I have 2 items for you today. The first one is the Rural Community Grant Program, which would be a new program for the county to put forth, leveraging funding from the extended 1% sales tax from the county with that dedicated quality of life funding and specifically for our rural communities. The way the program is structured is that it's just for cities, city park districts, townships, communities, essentially with a population of 5,000 people or less. And then the cycle would start here this month, applications would formally open next Monday. And entities can apply for either funds that would be expended in 2026 or allocated for spending in 2027. So the cycle encompasses 2 years. For those funds that would for sure be spent this year, that would be open to cities, city park districts, and townships. And then for funds that may then trickle over into 2027 and be allocated for expenditure next year, we would add in nonprofit organizations that are community service focused with some additional criteria. So then really the anticipation, the expectation being that primarily public entities would be applying for that funding. And then it would have a focus specifically on community gathering spaces, either new or expanded, improved, and then recreational spaces or facilities. And again, that's kind of in alignment with the quality of life element for these funds within the 1%. Overall, over that 2-year period, it would be $2.35 million available, with the $350,000 being available for expenditure this year, and then $2 million allocated for next year. And the reason that's split, just again, because the revenue comes in each month, and so this way we're just essentially making that allocation for spending next year when the revenue actually comes to fruition. So in your packet was both that program overview, and then I did just bring the updated application this morning, essentially just asking the pertinent questions for completing that. We would accept applications on a rolling basis, but they would be reviewed per the schedule in the packet, where the Finance Committee serves as the review committee, and then the Commission provides that final approval and funding allocation. So we would have a couple cycles this year, and then a couple review periods at the beginning of next year, but leaving it open if we need to add more, we can. Question?
Okay, so you just want approval to open it?
Yep, approval of the program and to move forth with the application process.
Okay, any other questions, gentlemen? What are the wishes?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Barry,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. All right, and then the second item is related to Amtrak. Chairman Hansen received an email from the High Speed Rail Alliance and associated entities. They have been advocating, I'd say quite frequently over the past couple of months, to help move things along at the federal level for purchasing upgraded and new rail cars, primarily for the long track, the long distance lines, of which the Empire Builder is a long distance line, and does use these older cars. And my understanding from previous engagements on this topic is that the government has engaged a manufacturer to some extent, but they have to wait to buy them. There's a lot of things that happen when they're looking at this investment. So the ask from the High Speed Rail Alliance was a letter of support for encouraging and urging Congress to move along in the Department of Transportation and actually placing the order for these cars. As we all know, things take a long time to be ordered and to be manufactured and delivered, and so just trying to press some urgency into that. So the first page is that information and background, and then a draft of the letter with some information from the Alliance is included as well. So,
Any questions? More comments? Awful quiet up here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I think anything we can do to increase the usage of whatever it is, transportation is a good thing. So, again, it's not something that's we're not committing funds. We're just putting a letter of support to say, yeah, let's get this moving. So I think it's a good thing. If no comments, what are the wishes?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the letter of support and authorize the chairman to sign with enthusiasm.
I'll second that.
Okay, make sure you guys watch fun and sign it if this goes. Yeah, okay. Any discussion? Roll call, Beth.
Steve,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thanks.
Thank you,
With
Lindsay.
enthusiasm.
Yes. All right. Speaking of enthusiasm, it's time for the engineer to come up. Brandon.
All right.
Oh, we're excited now.
Good morning, commissioners. Okay, so today we're going to be going over the bids that we were opened last Monday for the 25 to 13 countywide chip seal project. The the engineer's estimate for that project was $4,651,296. The bids received, the low bid on that was from Asphalt Surface Technologies Corp. for $4,483,376.58. I'm going to recommend award to Asphalt Surface Technologies Corp. as the lowest responsible bidder. With this project, we have funding available from our other projects coming in under bid, so we are looking at potentially adding more work to that project and changing, being able to chip seal some more roads this year. So I would ask for permission as well to pursue that in upwards of $2 million worth of additional work for that project. Any questions on that?
How many miles are we doing?
So it's a great question that I totally have available right now. So this year we did it in square yardage for trying to follow what the DOT's been doing, but we're doing the entire east half of the county, all of our paved roads on the east half of the county this year. I wish I could give you an exact mileage. I don't have it right in front of me right now. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, let me do that really quick.
Grading. Okay, so what you're looking for, I mean, I understand what you're asking. Does everybody understand? He wants to be able to add chip sealing to this project, much like we did last year, because we got good bids and we're able to add miles for paving. So, how do you guys want to do that?
Well, just a question, clarifying question.
Yep.
I would assume then that they would price it at the same price that they're.
Assuming because it's over the threshold, they can negotiate their pricing. We'll award them the contract, and then we'll approach them with the work and see how they want to tackle that work. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then you will bring it back
And
to us
I'll bring it back. Yep.
approval.
Yep. I'll bring
Before
it
it
back again.
happens.
Yep.
Okay. So what are the wishes?
I would make a motion to approve Asphalt Service Technologies Corporation with the ability to add.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Discussion? Roll call, please.
Corey,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. The next project is the countywide pavement marking project, project number 25-214. The engineer's estimate for that project was $318,370. We received one bid for that project from Traffic Safety Services for $369,567.22. Bid is approximately $51,000 over the engineer's estimate. Because of what we're going to be doing with the chip seal project, we're potentially going to be removing a lot of the paint striping. I would recommend rejection and rebid of that, just because we're going to change the amount of painting that we're doing in the county. So,
Okay. Anybody have questions? No questions? What are the wishes?
I'd move to reject the bid.
Okay. Is there a second?
second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Discussion? Roll call, please.
Bo,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Corey.
Yes. Motion carried.
The last thing I have is the waiver request that was submitted by AE2S on behalf of R&T Water District, as well as the Northwest Rural Water District. I believe you've all had a chance to look through that. If you have any questions on the request itself, I would recommend denial of the waiver at this time.
This is the one we discussed at the budget workshop, if everybody remembers right. Because I don't actually see it in here.
Oh,
the easement. But what are the wishes, gentlemen? Or do you have questions?
Yeah.
No, I was just trying to figure out how to word it. I would reject the easement request.
Reject the waiver request. Is maybe
The waiver request.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, and the last thing I have is for easements for the county. Either myself or Jeff typically signs between landowners and the county for our easement agreements. For the North Dakota State Trust land, I just want to get approval for the county engineer to sign the easements with the North Dakota State Trust land.
Because right now it's the chairman
Yes.
that has to sign, and it makes way more sense to have those guys because they're able to go through and make sure it's the right spot that we're signing an easement for. So I have to make a phone call to them anyway. So I think it just makes sense.
Question, does that require any kind of ordinance change, or is that
I would say we should be able to make a motion, and I didn't see Karen jump out of her chair, so I think we're all right. Let's just make a motion and move on.
right? I just want to make sure it's permanent.
She didn't jump, so we're
Okay.
good.
It just has a county representative in their document, so I just want to make sure I'm the yep.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Discussion? Roll call, please.
Barry,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thanks. Guys.
Thanks, Brandon. Now we're up to number 4, Sheriff.
Good morning, Commissioners. We have 2 requests for funding from the Williams County Public Safety Grant Committee. First application is going to be for some additional training materials. It is the Ultimate Training Munitions Portable Training Facility. Basically, they're movable walls that we'd be able to set up either in like the garage, for example, down at the range for live fire exercises, in our cold storage for taser training, different things like that. The total cost for that project is $15,891. The second item that we are making a request for is to update the graphics on our patrol vehicles. We do currently have funding to do part of those this year, which would be 6 vehicles. So we are requesting the additional funds of $28,600 for the additional 26 patrol vehicles. And that's just updating the graphics, which haven't been done in a while. Kind of a morale piece for the guys out on the road. Questions?
Okay. Any questions for the sheriff? What are the wishes?
I would make a motion to approve the request. And I would like, I do like the fact that our lettering, you can see it.
Right.
You know, some of the ones that figure they,
We
I
try
don't know
to-
why they want to hide
Yeah.
from you.
We avoid the ghost graphics, yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
And authorize the chair to sign.
And
Good.
Steve's good with that too. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Steve,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Motion carried.
you send me copies?
We're good?
Yep, you're good.
Okay.
Run away. All right. I didn't miss any department heads that need to speak, did I? No? Helen, you're up.
Good morning. We have 3 positions for you to approve for us to refill. 2, an equipment operator truck driver, and a patrol corporal are just typical positions. We've had turnover. We need to get them filled. But the mechanic position is one that we currently have budgeted, and we have someone in place as a part-time person. And he is retiring. And in conversation between the sheriff's office and the facilities department, which is where facilities is where this mechanic is housed in terms of oversight, we're going to have the new mechanic, we're requesting to have the new mechanic be a full-time position, and then he or she will take on the oil changes for the sheriff's office, which are now done out in the community. So we have this budgeted as a part-time position. We'll see savings out of the sheriff's office budget, but we will have to monitor this because the savings won't happen in the budget in which we're paying the full-time position this year.
Can you say which employee that is leaving?
His name is Dean.
Oh, it's our dean. Oh, that's too bad.
Good for him. He gets to retire.
I
Yeah,
know.
Dean's retiring.
I mean,
And it's too
we can
bad
let
for
people
us.
retire, right, Dennis?
Yeah, Dean started with us actually. I think the reason that Steve is saying this is that Dean comes to us as a small engine guy, and so he's been really a critical good resource to our parks, vector, and weed departments in doing and the facilities department in taking care of all of their small engines. It's a unique skill set that has been useful to us. So we'll hope that we can continue that, but our determination was we can help the sheriff's office, and it's likely hard to find. You have to find just the right person to be a part-time mechanic. So hoping to be a little more efficient, save money in the long run is our guess, and get a full-time person.
Bummer for us. Good for Dean.
Mhm.
Okay, what are the wishes?
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Corey,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, on the agenda also was a lease agreement between us, the Saddle Club, the MT Saddle Club, and the Williston High School Rodeo Club. Unfortunately, the MT Saddle Club had a couple more reviews they wanted to do before signing it the end of last week or yesterday. And so we do not have it. It is not ready. Commissioner Anderson continues to work with them. We have this lease and with the trail riders, and then we will have all of our leases together. We're getting there, slow but sure.
Okay, any other questions for Helen?
Hats off to you for going through the process.
We're
Yeah.
close. Feels like I look at these leases and talk about them every day. So
Okay, that's it, Helen. Thank you.
thank you.
Seeing nothing else, that brings us to item H.
The Bull Butte culvert petition, you didn't make a motion or anything on that Dan presented?
Okay, do we make a motion on all of the culvert petitions?
They normally go on the consent agenda, but this one he just brought here today.
Got it.
Move to approve the culvert petition.
Second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Bo,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Corey.
Yes, motion carried. All right, we are adjourned.